Mareena, thank you so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me here too.
No, you're welcome. Now, if you can share with everyone, how long have you been a student for? Or maybe how long ago did you first become a student with us?
Yeah, that's really interesting because I stalked the school for a while.
Love
A
that. That's good.
long time, actually. I used to go to a lot of the webinars, but it would be coming up to 4 years
Awesome.
since I enrolled as an
Yeah.
actual student. But yeah, there was a long time before.
Love it. So tell us a little bit about where you were before the school and maybe
Yeah.
even tell us about you were stalking us for a long period of time, which a lot of people tell us they do. What happened for you to go, now's the time, I'm gonna do the study.
Yeah. So where I was, I had been leading teams in lots of organizations, and I love leadership. It's the thing that drives me, gives me my spark or sparkle, as I like to call it. But the thing about leadership wasn't the technical part of leadership. Like I never knew the teams I led. They knew the technical. I knew how to
Right.
lead.
Right.
And I got to a point in my career where I knew there was more and I didn't know what the more was, but I thought this can't be all. There was something in me that would, it's that burning passion you would call, but there was something in me saying, there's more, this isn't it for you. And so while I was still working in an organization, that's when I started stalking, it start popping up on Insta and I thought, who are these people? They seem like my kind of people. Yeah. So in the depth of leadership, just looking for more, which is why I started the stalk.
That's fantastic. And what changed for you to begin to go from I'm checking
Mm,
you guys out? And the reason why I ask you that question is
mm,
because I always say to people, do your research, right? Like check
mm,
things out. But
mm.
there's a time when research actually just becomes procrastination. There's a
Yep.
time when searching just becomes about putting it off.
Yep.
What was it for you when you were like, okay, I'm beginning? Why did you start? And what was that moment?
Yeah. I have some really clear moments for me, and I remember when they were. There was one was a recorded, like a not a recorded, sorry, it was a live webinar.
Yeah.
I actually remember being at it watching my daughter play netball. I was taught like that's how close I was. I was torn between, being with my daughter at a netball game, but I really didn't want to miss out. And there was just
Wow.
so much that spoke to me, spoke to my heart. And then I came into a live event, and it was when I got in that room and around the people, I was like, oh my gosh, you're my people. Like these are my people. You speak my language, and I
Yeah.
knew there was something more. So that was definitely the thing for me, is to find, not that I had to fit, but to find that environment where I felt at home, where I felt,
Oh,
yeah,
I hear
these are my
you.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you. And it's so important. I like that you said
Mm.
it's not about going somewhere and saying, "Oh, I need to fit in, I need to fit in." But on the other end, it kind of is it is fitting in, but it's not the
Yeah.
way that you're saying it. It's like
Yes.
it's you belong. These
Yes.
are your people and I hope people that are watching this have had an experience where they've gone in somewhere and it's like,
Mm.
"Oh, this feels right."
Mm.
Like you said, they're
Yeah.
speaking your language. I think
Yes.
it's a really important part of it.
Yeah.
Now, you started 4 years ago, and
Mhm.
you've always been a leader, and you want to know
Mhm.
more about leading and how you can lead other people. What's your 4 years been like? What have you done, and how did you take that? And
Mm.
what was it the journey that you thought it was going to be?
Mm.
Did it turn out completely different?
Yeah, it always does, huh? So yes and no to all of it. Were there things there that I wanted? Absolutely, and more. But what happened to me, while I thought I was going to be a better leader for others, I've actually become a better leader of self.
Yeah.
So when I think about oh my goodness, the emotional, not even knowing that was in me and being able to unblock, you know, so much that was trapped inside me. I remember coming to one of the courses, and I think I sat there and cried
Mm,
nearly the whole time.
yeah.
And do you know what? That might sound scary or horrible to anyone watching this, but I look back now and it was one of those moments in my life I'm so thankful for,
Yeah.
because what it enabled me to do. So while I came in here as a leader, it made me a better mum, better person, better wife, better friend. Like I'm just so much more open emotionally to allow others in, but also allow myself,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I didn't expect that. I thought I was there to help everyone else because that's what leaders are good at.
Yeah.
But I was actually, the beginning of this for me, which I didn't know, was actually about me.
It's great.
Mm.
It's a really wonderful message. And, I had the same message, and it's the message that I hear from everyone that does this is most of us think that we're here to do something for others, and we are, of course, we are. And, it's interesting because I think we go on this journey for others, then we realize it's for us. And then we go back to making it for others more, which is kind of still for us. And, it's this beautiful thing. And I just love what you've shared about how much personal growth there is inside this. It's huge. Tell us a little bit more about how it's affected you, and you said that it's affected your family, you as a wife, you as a mom, as a friend. Tell us a little bit more about that. Like maybe a before and after, like how have you shifted?
So Mareena before, very busy, energy on the go. What I realized though is a lot of that energy on the go is probably a bit of avoidance.
Right.
Avoiding things that I didn't really want to see in myself. Mareena, through this, I call it, I was talking to my husband about it actually, the journey I've been on, because right where I am now, which I'm sure we'll get to, is like a dream. Like 4 years ago, it's like, imagine if I could do this.
Wow.
But we were talking about it as like the chrysalis. If you think about the caterpillar going into the cocoon, this is where I kind of turn to that goop, and like a caterpillar does. But you come out the butterfly, right? But you need a moment to be able to do that. And that's what this journey has been for me. I surrounded myself with people in this community that you provide at the school that enabled me and allowed me to sometimes be that goop that the caterpillar has to go through. But then there's this amazing teachers and leaders within the school. And a really big moment for me was even triads. I was so scared of doing triads, but one of the best things I did for myself and for others. But then there's even other tools like eDisc, learning about me and my energy, where I can now purposefully design and put this energy that before was running around wild, almost uncontrolled energy. I'm now got this insight into me. Since profiled my family. So we all have like a team eDisc, and we all know, where we fit on that. And then that was also the segue for me. There was the teaching from the school, but then also eDisc that I could take into my team at work. So while wasn't at the time full-time in my coaching business, I'm in a workplace taking the materials that I'm learning and using them immediately. So, I'd jump into a webinar overnight, and then I'd come the next day and be like, right, I'm going to try this out. So it was an amazing way in which people who might be thinking about this and thinking, because this was in my head too, I am so stuck in my day-to-day routine. How on earth do I get out? How do I make that transition, or how do I make that leap? Right. And I was probably worrying about that too much, where just the learning and the growth eventually took me there. But take the teaching and implement it wherever you are. Don't worry about where you're going. Just do it. Implement it now.
Yeah, well said. That's such wisdom. And tell us about where you are now. Where are you now, and what have you created?
Yeah. This is look at my smile, huh?
I know, right? It's awesome.
So my biggest desire has always been to, it wasn't so much about running my own business as such, but it was more around the freedom to truly live every day doing what you love. And I used to hear people say that, and I'd be like, really? Do people really do that? Right. People do that.
Yeah.
So to be there now, what's happened the last couple of months, I've been able to transform doing part-time coach working. So I went through the pro bono. Then I picked up organically through my team members. My team members were referring their friends who were saying, who is this leader you have? I want some of that. Oh, she's a coach. And so I started to get organic referrals, and now it's just grown into a full-time business. So now I get to wake up, design my day, and I get to take all of this learning and my love of leadership. And I help leaders. I'm still helping leaders, mainly in healthy mindset and self-leadership. But so I'm still doing what I love, but doing it in my own business and in my own way.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What an awesome achievement.
Yeah, feels good. Feels good. And it is beautiful. This moment is beautiful to look back and be back where people who are watching this probably are thinking,
Yeah.
I hear it and I can see people doing it and they're saying it, but is it real? It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah. You know what? I think about what you just said in many different ways a lot, actually, because I think that there's an element of when we take a risk to start something new that we have to, in a way, believe it a little bit, even if that's hard. We have to believe it before we see it.
Yeah.
Because there's no way someone could have come in for you and said, you know what, Mareena, I guarantee you with this, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely going to happen. And that's not the way life works. There's an element of a risk where you have to say, okay, well, here's Mareena and she's done it and Matt's done it. And here's all the other people that have done it. And it's kind of like, I gotta give this a go. I gotta take a risk. For you, when you made that decision and you were weighing it up, right? Because it's like you're working full time and you've got a family and you've got pressure and all the stuff. What drove you? What was your reason? Because I know in my life, if I have an important enough reason to do something, you know, I'll do it.
Yeah.
What was your reason?
Yeah. Gee, that's a really deep, deep question, Matt, because for me, it's been knowing there's something bigger than me.
Yeah.
And knowing that I have a piece to play.
Nice.
In that something bigger.
Awesome.
And if that I didn't step into that piece, then I'm not living the life that's been created for me.
Oh, I love
and I
that.
want to live the life that's been created for me.
Wow.
And, you know, there were moments where everyone around me, like my husband, he is so supportive. He's been telling me for years, you know, it's just there. Like, just do it. I see you.
That's
like,
awesome.
just do it.
Yeah.
My team members, you're bigger than this place. Get out. Go do something. Right. So everyone can tell you as much as you want, but until there's that self-belief and you will enable or allow yourself to open up and be seen. Be seen was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to hide. I just wanted to stop the attention. But that was stuff I had to deal with, right?
Right.
So to be seen. And when we're given challenges or little tasks, you know, I say little, but at the time they were big for me, like jumping on Facebook, doing a live, being seen was big for me. But again, what echoed in my ears is, Mareena, there's a bigger part for you to play.
Yeah.
Everyone has a role to play. And do you want to live this life not playing that role?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's just stepping out and doing it. And I know it sounds easy when I say it, it's not. And it hasn't always been smiles, you know. There's been tears, there's been anxiety, but on the other side, you know, step through it, because on the other side, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a powerful thing. And I like the groundedness in which we can talk about it. You know, sometimes I see videos of people on social media and it's kind of like, you can be a millionaire. All you need to do is this. And I'm like, it's just so unfortunate whoever gets caught up in that, because they're just going to be disappointed. But the reality of it is that if you can do what you love, that's the most important thing, as you said earlier. Like, if you love it, right? You know, you obviously like coaching. I like coaching. It's like, if you get to do that, what you love, you've won an element, a large piece of the pie. And I think that we're supposed to do the things that we're passionate about, or, you know, that's why they're in our hearts, because we care about them and we're inspired to do them. And on the other side of that challenge is, in a way, a sense of freedom. And if we don't face it, I think that we can choose comfort if we want, but eventually that's turning to depression.
Yeah.
And we see that everywhere, right? That's not hard to find. How has it become freedom for you? You said freedom earlier. It's like freedom at home. And tell us a bit more about that.
So, you know, there's multiple things here again. Freedom, first of all, to be me. Yeah. So that ability to show up as me, which is the thing I hid from before.
Right.
You know, not certain, I'm not sure. That's why I stalked you for so long, right? Is this for me? Am I good enough for this?
Right.
And if I could go back and tell myself back then, are you good enough for this? I would have jumped in earlier, because I was I was good enough. So if anyone's feeling that too, you know, can I join this group of people? Am I good? Absolutely, you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you are. So for me, there was the freedom in learning to show up authentically as me, and then the freedom in the relationships with my family. Like I have 3 adult kids, and the relationship we have now is, I'm not sure if it would have been as connect. I mean, I'm not talking sunshine and lollipops, right?
Yeah.
But the way in which we navigate challenges together is so rewarding that you can sit and have a real deep conversation.
Congratulations. There's so many great messages there for people. It's really wonderful. What would you say to someone who's been inspired by your story and who's thinking, should I do this? Should I start this study and take the risk to become a coach?
You know what? Stop overthinking it. Stop procrastinating. Stop wasting time. Do it. Jump in and do it. Yeah.
Congratulations on how far you've come, Mareena. Pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Matt.